first-person shooters. They happened on the Game Boy Advance. Or kind of. If you've seen our review of Medal of Honor Underground, you know they didn't always happen well. Sometimes horror happened. Sometimes it got weird. But you have to think like it's 2002. I mean, there had never been a handheld quite as powerful as the GBA, and it was a big deal to have a handheld capable of doing things like this. I mean, look, it's easy for us in 2015 to sit here and say, well, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But in 2002, there was a novelty to this, to seeing these kind of graphics on a handheld. It was a big deal. Everyone wanted to see how far the GBA could be pushed. No one pushes harder than the Duke.
Who wants some?
Now, the crazy thing is, as outdated as this looks and as physically painful as it can be, which we'll get to later, this actually isn't that bad. I mean, in 2002, it would have been insane, and the reviews from back then said as much. This was crazy impressive. But I'm talking like even now, Duke Nukem Advance is pretty cool. You can argue whether it's necessary, but I mean, is the Duke ever really necessary? The guy routinely has close encounters of the third kind, and they always end the same way. The only things getting probed are the aliens, heads with shotgun shells. There's so much we could learn from each other, and the Duke's like,
what a mess.
So, there are 19 different missions, and for the most part, it's business as usual. Key cards, shotguns, switches, hot chicks, the usual. What's here isn't all that impressive. It's more about where it is, where here is. Like, to have a game like this on the Game Boy Advance is the whole point of this game. And to its credit, this is much better than other 3D GBA games. I mean, that was the first thing I noticed. It moves smoothly, it moves fast. This game runs way better than, say, Medal of Honor Underground. Not to pick on Medal of Honor Underground, but holy crap, that game. And again, in retrospect, you could argue that no FPS belonged on the GBA, that they may have worked, but only in a technical sense, and that's probably true. I'm just not sure the Duke cares.
Hail to the king, baby.
Speaking of those graphics, though, I mean, look, you can see why people were stoked. It's an awesome-looking GBA game. And it's not just that it's in 3D. I mean, Medal of Honor was in 3D, and man, that game, you guys. It's that the Duke does 3D really well on the GBA. There's so much polish, so much detail. I mean, it's really impressive. Again, dated, for sure, but still impressive for what it is. And what I love is that each world has a different aesthetic. From secret military bases to city streets to the Egyptian desert. You know, your environments are always changing, and they all have so much detail. You know, like it's one thing to have a computer. You know, it's probably just a little gray square, right? I mean, it's the GBA. Nope. Freaking things have multiple screens and tons of buttons and lights, and there's lights everywhere. It's like this is a 3D GBA game that didn't settle for just being a 3D GBA game. It wanted to be a great 3D GBA game. Now, with all that said, with all that praise out of the way, look, it's still a 3D GBA game. And with that comes the pratfalls of being a 3D GBA game. Two things, mainly. The closer you get to things, the closer you get to seeing the actual death of pixels. It's just such a blurry, bloody mess of pixels. And two, holy shit, this game makes you nauseous. Like, holy shit, I had a headache within the first 10 minutes. And to be fair, I think part of that is that I had it blown up on the TV screen, because I record GBA games with the GameCube's Game Boy player. It's not quite as head-throbbing on an actual GBA, but holy shit, it's head-throbbing on a TV. Oh, it's like watching pixels infected with a virus slowly start to turn against themselves, like when you're close to stuff. Otherwise, it's a good-looking game. This is usually where I sum things up. I give you my verdict. I give a final opinion. But honestly, I'm not even sure what it is. Not this time. I mean, on the one hand, yeah, very impressive, and definitely the best example of 3D that I've seen on the GBA. It sounds good. It's actually fun. That's a nice change of pace. This game is a lot of fun. Like, a part of me loves this game. The other part of me had a headache, because holy shit, this game. Oh, It's like watching a black hole of pixels, just sucking the pixels out of pixels. Like when you're close to stuff, like walls. Otherwise, it's a good-looking game, and that's the point. Duke Nukem Advance is an awesome example of 3D on the GBA. The question is, was the GBA the system for 3D? I mean, I'd ask Duke, but I don't think he cares.